I'm a bit calmer now because I already told the whole story, but I was accidentally recording through my headphones and it made the sound quality really bad. So I have to retell the story, and I will try to say it a little more concisely. I was at a coffee shop just now, and I saw this amazingly hot guy looking at me, and I saw that he had a coffee cup on the other side of the table, so I thought that he was with a girl and that the girl was just gone from the table at that time. So right when I saw that, I looked away from him because I didn't want to be like staring at somebody who was with another girl. But I found him so handsome, and my first thought was like, he couldn't be that like, he can't be that perfect. There must be something wrong. But then I saw him go up to the coffee counter and ask for something, and when he asked, he showed this gorgeous, beautiful smile, and when I saw his smile and like these glinting, perfect white teeth, I was like, oh god, like, he's pretty much one of the most handsome men I've ever seen in my life. And let me just describe what my type is. I've discovered over a couple years of knowing myself better that I have an exact type, and it is basically, as far as like what I personally find the most attractive. And so it's basically tan skin, dark skin, tan skin, and dark hair, either brown, dark brown, or black. And honestly, the darker the better. So that's it. That's what I like. And that's what he was. He was tan with like dark hair and this, oh gosh, oh. Anyway, so we looked at each other a bit that time, but then I looked away. Then I saw that he grabbed the coffee cup from the other side of the table and took a drink. And I was like, oh, it's his. Okay, he's not with anyone. He's alone, which I can't believe that. I wonder if he's dating a bunch of girls at the same time. But then I was like, well, he's alone, so I can just kind of look at him if I want. And somehow I had the courage to keep eye contact for longer. And this is so weird! This has happened a couple times. There's something different about me and my aura, because the last many years, this stuff never ever happened, ever. Like, sorry, I'm screaming, but this never happened. Like, this is the first time that a really, really handsome, attractive man has come up to me. And it must be, like, the vibes that I was giving off, I must be different. But I guess, so, a lot of people, like, even in hate comments, like, I recorded a video 2 years ago that was like, I'm single and I don't know why, which was true. I didn't know why, and I went over like all the problems, and a bunch of people left like hate comments or angry comments being like, you like have it so easy, you're a good looking person and all you have to do is make eye contact with a guy or smile at a guy and he would come right over. And at the time I was like, oh, these people are so mean, but they actually helped me like crazy, because I think that I'm learning that that's actually true. And at the time, I had no idea, and I still can't fathom that I have that much power, because I've always struggled with powerlessness. But it seems to be true that if you look at a guy, and if you smile at them, they come over! Which is terrifying! Oh, I'm so weird. Oh, yeah! Oh gosh, I feel so weird. So I was told that the coffee shop was closed because it was 1 o'clock and they were closing at 1. So everybody packed up, and I saw that he was kind of hanging out a bit. So I hung out a bit as I was slowly packing my stuff, and he looked over at me and I looked at him, and then we had like 1 to 2 full seconds of eye contact. And when that happened, I smiled a little bit, like just closed mouth. And then I continued packing my stuff, and when he got up, he walked right over to me, and he started talking to me, and I was like, but I was pretty good about it. I smiled, and he did the worst thing for somebody who's socially anxious, which is ask me to perform, basically, which was, he was like, hey, I'm not from here, I'm spending the day here, do you have recommendations of, like, places to get food? And I was like, wait, maybe he was asking me to go get food with him. But he was like, do you have recommendations for places to get food? Which is probably, you know, a line. but it forced me to be like, like trying to like think of all the places that I know of, and I really didn't know of anywhere, like, because I don't go out to eat a lot. So I told him that. I was like, sorry, no, I don't really know of any places to eat around here, but I know of places to walk, or beaches, you know, that kind of thing. And so we talked a bit about that, gave him some recommendations, and he, at the very end, like, I was giving off the vibes that I wanted to leave, because I was just getting more and more freaked out, because this man was really handsome, and also, apart from being super handsome, he also, he spoke really well too, and he had a really nice way of coming across. So he really did seem to be a lot. And I'm never going to see him again. But you know what's interesting? I've been meeting a lot of Alexes. He said his name was Alex, and I've met 4 Alexes. It's a really weird thing. Like, I feel like the universe is telling me something about Alex. Because maybe, like, Alexes are attractive, because 3 of the 4 that I've met recently are attractive to me. And they're all named Alex. Huh. Yeah. Well, anyway, so the whole story comes down to, like, I blew it. Like, I don't know how to talk to guys. I wanted to talk to him. But, like, he was so handsome, I was just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I did smile, but I struggled to speak. And I did speak, but I struggled, and I think he could tell that I was nervous. So he kind of was like, well, thank you so much. And I was like, and also, like, yeah, there's definitely a chance that he was just asking for recommendations, but I don't think so, because he was like, well, I saw that we locked eyes a couple times, and blah blah blah. So he said that at the very beginning. But anyway, at the very end, because I didn't ever want to see him again, and I knew I wasn't going to see him again, and this is what I do when I meet somebody handsome and, quote, perfect upon first impression, I never want to see them again, ever. Because my response to that is, run! Run! So anyway, at the very end, I mustered the courage, and I was like, can I tell you something? Because I don't think I'll ever see you again. And I was like, I find you very, very handsome. And then I said, and now I'm going to leave. And then I left. And he laughed and smiled and whatever. So it was a good exchange, and now I'm never going to see him again. And yeah, that was good. I'm probably going to have to rollerblade now to rollerblade my feelings away. But I did have a thought recently, which was, instead of using dating apps, what if I was able to just muster the courage to talk to the guys that I find so attractive? Because, like, usually if I go out in public, especially in this town, which is filled with handsome people and beautiful people, is very looks-based in this town. If I go out, usually I see one person a day who I find very attractive. And what if I just walked right up to them and was like, hey, I find you very attractive. Would you like to get coffee? Or something like that. So, like, isn't that kind of cool that I could, like, actually date the people, or actually ask out the people and possibly date one of them who I find, like, already really attractive to me? Anyway, there's a lot more and a lot less I could have said, but this is a really big deal to me. Something is different. Something is happening to me where I am somehow attracting men to me. Maybe it's because I don't have a broken heart anymore. But, and maybe it's because I don't know, because, something else happened. Yesterday, I had another guy approach me in a Target. Yesterday! This is not normal. People think that, oh, if you're just a, quote, good-looking person, that people are constantly approaching you. But no, people do not approach me. Like, this is a very weird, crazy occurrence. Something's changed the last month or so, or 2 months, where somehow I'm attracting more guys and making them feel like they can approach me, because it is happening. Well, actually, the last 2 or 3 months, because I did talk about the other 2 guys that approached me recently. And honestly, everyone that I've shared, it's all, like, I've shared every time on YouTube, because each time is a very big deal to me, because it's so rare. But yeah, I did have that one stalker guy that I talked about, and the nice guy, the good example guy. And then, but I wasn't attracted to either of them. And then I had the guy in Target, who I also wasn't attracted to, but it was still a compliment. And today, I had this guy, who I was very attracted to, and found very handsome. I have a bit of regret that I didn't talk to him. Like, he didn't ask. Maybe he was nervous, or maybe he didn't want to, but it would have been fun. But maybe, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, the last thing was, what was the last thing? Oh, just like a really, like, I talk sometimes bad about guys, but some really, really sweet guy was in the coffee shop today too. We had different, like, sweet, nice exchanges, and he was just a really nice guy. He was like normal middle-age, younger middle-age, and he was just really kind to me. And like, sure, it could have been because blah blah blah, but he didn't make any kind of flirtatious advance towards me. It was all just kindness and gentlemanliness. And one of the things he did was, I started looking for outlets. I was sitting down and I like bent over looking for an outlet underneath my feet, or underneath, behind my legs, you know, on the ground. Anyway, I was doing that, and he like looked over and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing? What do you need?" And I was like, "I'm just looking for outlets, sorry." And he was like, "Oh, here, let me." And he got to his knees. He got up and went onto his knees to look underneath the bench. So we were all sitting on a bench, and he looked underneath the bench to check if there are any outlets for me. And then he was like, "Yeah, no, there's no outlets." But that's so sweet. And that is also, it does not happen a lot, or ever. Like, I cannot remember the last time a man has done such a huge, gentlemanly, sweet, kind gesture. And like, even if that was, quote, flirting, that is the way to do it. That is the kindest, most gentlemanly, sweetest thing you can do. Like, by the way, like, chivalry is literally putting what chivalry is and what being a gentleman is kind of going through a bit of suffering so the other person doesn't have to. That's basically what all of those acts are. So like, he chose to get on his knees and look so that I didn't have to, which I don't want anyone to be like, she was expecting it, she was demanding that he do that. No, I was not expecting. There was no pressure. In fact, I was absolutely shocked, because that kind of chivalry is unheard of, and it never happens. Like, the most chivalry I receive on a day-to-day basis is a guy holding a door for me, which I very much appreciate, but also girls hold the door for me. And I hold the door for everyone whenever I have the option. So that, I feel, is almost just a human thing. It's a people thing, that everybody holds the door for each other. But this is like the most out there gentlemanly act. And it meant so much to me. And then the cool thing was, after he did that, I was like, "Thank you so much. Aw, I appreciate that." You know, I appreciated it. And then we just sat next to each other, and he was working silently and I was working silently. And when he got up to leave, he was like, "Well, see ya." And I was like, "Oh, see ya. Thank you so much again." So that was that exchange, and I was so happy that he didn't like try anything flirtatious, because I just appreciate a gentlemanly act that is done for that sake. Just being a kind person. That was really nice. It definitely restored faith and made me feel really good about just to know that there are really good, kind guys out there, and it didn't seem like he had an ulterior motive. He struck me as the kind of guy who would have done stuff like that for other people too, which is important. And now I just talked for 15 minutes, and now I'm probably going to post this because I'm just posting everything. Also, you get to experience me on a high. This is me, not a drug high, emotion high. Usually I'm quite low emotionally, or very even, but right now I would say I'm very excited and I have a lot of rushing feelings and like stomach feelings. And like talking to that guy, really, the handsome one, really frazzled me, and it was so out of character, but also me trying to be brave and do what I always wish I could do, which for some reason it's always been important to me. Like, I've always wanted to be able to tell a guy that I think he's attractive or handsome. Like, I've never been able to do that in my life, and I never have. This is the first time! This is the first time in my life that I've ever been able to tell a handsome man that I think he's handsome. And also, I cannot remember any other time in my entire life talking to a man who I thought was like that handsome. Okay, I'm done.